It's the 2K Sports pregame show, sponsored by Kia.
The NBA season is in high gear, and we are so glad to have you here with us on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight's broadcast will feature the Miami Heat as they go up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And for Cleveland, their first time playing these guys this season. A year ago, going 1-2. They'd like to improve on that this go-around. Everybody's heard the story of Eric Spoelstra, how he got his start with the Heat, rising up through the organization. He's shown that he is a very capable head coach. Got the ring to prove it.
Got the ring to prove it. I'm going to give you a stat that you probably wouldn't even think of.
What?
He's the second longest tenured coach in the NBA.
How about that?
I would never think that. A young guy, he's been there. That's telling you the state of the league as well, but very detail-oriented.
From video coordinator
wow.
to championship-winning coach.
Question.
You know, his story is not really, it's impressive, but not really that impressive when you talk about all the other historic coaches. But being a two-time champion, that puts him in an elite company as far as coaches go.
You don't like his story?
I do, but, some coaches started here, started there, started there. His story is more of a Hoosier story.
Okay. That was a great story, too, though.
Yeah. Time now for tip-off. Kevin Harlan will have the call, and we will see you later.
If it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it can only mean one thing. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. Cavaliers have an Eastern Conference contest on their hands as they prepare to defend their home court here at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. Hi, everyone. We're happy to have you with us for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. With Brent Barry and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan, and David Aldridge will be joining us on the sideline as well. Taking a look at Miami. They're free-falling right now, piling up loss after loss. We'll see if they can bounce back.
And I think for Miami, they haven't gotten anything to go their way here early on. What do they have to do to turn this thing around?
I don't think there's any one thing that's going to suddenly solve all these problems, but the number one thing is just to relax. They're trying so hard to right the ship, and you can see how much it's affecting their play. You can't be thinking and playing at the same time.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Well, Kevin, Heat coach Eric Spoelstra has worked his way up from the bottom, and he's still one of the most driven people you'll meet. He said, "I hate this quality, but I can go to dark levels when we lose. I'm inconsolable. Then I get this crazy, intense focus, desperate not to be embarrassed again. That dark spot is what I tap into. Creativity comes from there." Kevin?
Thanks, D.A. That effort permeates through the entire team. And Brent, both sides can line it up from deep in this one. That's a given. How much does your defensive approach change when you're facing a team that can hurt you from deep all the time?
So you think about that, Kevin, that for 48 minutes, you not only have to do what you have to do on offense to get back at a team, but defensively chase around guys who can bury you from 30 feet.
Exhausted.
And if you have a lapse in your concentration at any point, that can cost you 3, 6, 9. Should I keep going?
Keep going.
It'll happen that fast.
Right. So here's Miami's starting group. A lot of length up front with Bosh and Whiteside in the middle. Johnson is out there with Dragic, and it's Winslow in at the 3. 4 on the clock. Smith for 3. Chris Bosh with the rebound. And Miami has possession. This their first chance this season playing the Cavaliers.
And they really took care of business against this group last year, winning the season series.
No good on his first attempt of the game. Last outing for Miami, it was a loss to the Hawks in Atlanta.
Just looking at the stat sheet, they gave far too many free throws away in that game. Maybe it was the noise in the building or something, but they really looked rattled.
And the most noise was being made with one of their guys at the free throw line. Those were some smart fans. They knew it was a team struggling from the free throw line, and they made it as difficult and as loud as possible.
Now, here is Irving. He's coming off a 34-point game against New York.
And he also was really tenacious about attacking the D and creating wide-open shots for his other guys. That's why his teammates love him.
Smith against Johnson. Winslow, the pass to Dragic. Pass to Bosch. And that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist.
As soon as Bosch gets the ball inside, he takes it right at the defense. They really have no answer when he's that close to the basket.
Irving with it. He's a guy that can score, no doubt, averaging over 25 points a game. Jefferson with the three, and it's Whiteside with the rebound.
I'm not sure if it's a bad start or unlucky here. 0 for 4. Can't think too much about it. Just got to get that first one to go.
So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Fantastic job by Chris Bosh there to get the ball that close inside and getting the defense to feel uncomfortable.
And you can't see Chris Bosh and not think of the season he was forced to miss out due to his blood clot. Glad to see him not only back on the floor, but making a full recovery from the issue.
And if by full recovery, Kevin, you mean participating in the All-Star game that very next year, that's some impressive stuff from Chris Bosh. You could see in the early part of the season how much passion he was playing with and how much fun it was for him to be back on the NBA floor.
Now here's Irving. Jefferson kicks to Thompson. Back to Jefferson. And finished off by Jefferson.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Fearless, despite the size mismatch, took it right to him.
Here's Dragic. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Atlanta.
And also in that one, he had the opposition on pins and needles on the defensive end of the floor, recording 4 steals that night on his way to an overall stellar game.
Now here's Johnson. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
Hits it from 3-point range.
How on earth did they let him get that wide open?
Miami trailing. Outside Bosh. And it's Kevin Love with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
And another foul, and he'll find himself on the bench. He has to be smarter than that.
Channing Frye's checked in for Kevin Love. Outside Dragic, and stolen by Frye. Here's Irving. Stolen by Winslow. Dragic dishes to Whiteside. And the jam by Whiteside.
And nice court vision from Dragic there to get a great look at the bucket.
Irving against Dragic. Thompson in the corner. Back to Irving. 6 to shoot. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here. That one goes. It's counted. Frye's got his first points of the game. For Miami, they've gone 2 of 6 from the field. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. Good D by Thompson.
Well, the defense ready for him there in prevent mode, making sure that he didn't get a clean look at that layup.
Jefferson passing to Irving. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
I tell you what, it's almost like stealing to watch how he plays the game from this seat.
The Heat trail by 3. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Outside Dragic. Johnson the screen. Out of bounds. Cleveland will take possession. Let's bring up the 2K leaderboard to show you the teams leading the league in assists this season. The Cavaliers number 1.
The beauty of watching this team is seeing the ball move around the court. It doesn't stick. That's why they're at the top of that list.
And it's the Cavaliers with the ball. Outside Irving. Outside Jefferson. Now here's Frye. He's covered by Bosh. Here's Irving. Another miss by Irving.
I have no clue what happened with the defense there, but they should be thanking their lucky stars that somehow he bricked that golden opportunity.
It's such a sweet 3-point stroke there. And it can really open things up inside because as good as he shoots it, it forces the opposing bigs to have to step out on the perimeter.
Even though he's on the short side for a center, that vertical really evens things out.
The Heat have gotten just 3 of their first 9 shots to go down in this game. Bosch kicks to Whiteside. Winslow is screen on Thompson. Bosch, the screen. Off the screen. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Well, you look at the Miami Heat, and there's a lot of experience on that roster. But you know, Brent, even the role players who have been in this league for a while, well, they've carved out nice roles for the team as well.
Yeah, you can never underestimate what it's like to have experience in the NBA, not only in dealing with training camp and a new coach, but the length of a season, and then potentially, if those things all come together, a nice long playoff run. They play a very controlled style, and Eric Spoelstra has the team pointed in the right direction. Great to see young players like Winslow getting some early important minutes for his career.
Now here is Smith. 23 points his last outing. Bosch with some nice D. And J.R. Smith picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
And the next one puts him in the bonus.
And ladies check in for Cleveland. Johnson kicks to Winslow. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Well, even in Winslow's short stint at Duke University, you could tell he was a winner. He helped lead that team to a collegiate title and showed up with huge games with everything on the line.
Brent, as you said, Winslow just oozes winning and has found success at every level, starting all the way in his high school days in Houston.
Well, sometimes people get caught up in the players' numbers. Winslow really doesn't show any discernible skill that makes him stand out, but his smarts and his acumen certainly stand out. That's why he attended Duke.
Now here's Johnson. Cranes it from beyond the arc. So timeout called here, the first for Cleveland.
Start it.
Brent, when you played, you were one of the best passing wings in the NBA. How did you come about developing that play style, that skill of feeding others so well?
Huge influence for me, Kevin, growing up was Pistol Pete Maravich. I watched a lot of tapes, and maybe people out there remember old VHS tapes of homework basketball that Pistol Pete put out, and I watched those incessantly and went out in the driveway and tried those things.